Hello and welcome to another edition of Randolph in Action. My name is David Murphy and I'm proud to serve as your town manager. Today I'm standing in the middle of beautiful Crawford Square in front of the Turner Free Library. The Turner Free Library has been the site of a $2.5 million renovation. Through the support of the Randolph Town Council and the Turner Library Board of Trustees, we have transformed this municipal library into a quintessential 21st century municipal library. Today, we're going to get a tour from Library Director Megan James to see all of the new spaces, technology, and programming areas they have in this exciting new renovated library. Please join me inside.
Good afternoon, Megan.
Hi, David.
Appreciate you joining us today for the show and for the tour.
Yes, welcome to the Turner Free Library.
Very excited to see all the renovations here at the Turner Free Library. And tell us a little bit about your time here at the library before we get started on today's tour.
Sure. I've been here for about 4 years. I started as the Teen and Technology Librarian in 2012 under the leadership of Sarah Slyman. After Sarah left, I was promoted to Library Director and kind of was able to take on this project that she had started. And I'm very excited to show you around.
Well, I'm very excited to see it. I know that the public has also talked quite a bit about this. I know the library under your direction has turned into really the hub of community activity. It's a very vibrant location, and I'm very excited to share that with even more people. So why don't we start the tour?
In 2013, as you know, we did a user study about different rooms that we might need in the building or wants and needs of the community.
Okay.
One of the big things that was needed was a quiet room. So we're going to be quiet in here a little bit. So here we are in the quiet room.
I'll be real quiet.
Folks can read, they can use our magazine collection, they can check out our Mary Wilkins Freeman collection, who is a famous author in Randolph. Just a great space to do some reading, do some homework, and ensure that you have a nice space to do that. And there's not a lot of, there's no cell phone use or anything like that in this space.
And this is an entirely new space, right? This was built as part of the renovations?
Yes. So the glass and walls that you see here are brand new. This actually used to be, ironically, the teen space.
Okay.
All the furniture in here is new as well, and you can come in and we'll have our entire collection of newspapers laid out. Before you had to check them out, and now we're just allowing people to come and pick them up and enjoy them here.
Sure. And who are these folks up on the wall, these handsome lads?
Yes. So these are the Turner brothers. The library is built on a trust that was given to us by the Turner brothers. And in the middle here we have Mary Wilkins Freeman, who is the author of all these books that I had shown you just a minute ago.
So you mentioned that this was the teen space prior to the renovation and becoming a quiet room. Tell me about your outreach specifically to the young teen community and how that's changed the mission of the library.
So we are right next to the high school. We're a fantastic spot for the teens to come and enjoy some hangout time. And in the 21st century, we're trying to make a library that fits everyone's needs. So the needs of the teens are for somewhere safe to be, where they can hang out and enjoy the library. So they need a little bit of space to be a little louder. So as we go through the tour, I will show you the space that we've created for them.
Why don't we take a walk up there now, if you don't mind?
Sure, that sounds great.
So one of the other interesting pieces to the creation of the teen room, you mentioned providing a space for the teens themselves.
Yes.
But I would imagine that the creation of the teen room benefits really all the library users. Because now you have teens who, I was a teenager once, of course, and we used the library, or they would have used the library different and more socially than somebody just looking to read a magazine. So in essence, you probably have a ripple effect where that teen room could impact all of your users in the library, I would assume, right?
Yes. So allowing the teens a space to be that's just for them gives us the opportunity to use this middle space here as what we like to say the working main space.
Sure.
So a little bit louder than the quiet space, but not quite as loud as the teen space. People are able to use their cell phones. We are in the age of people working from home.
Sure.
So people can use this space, come use a computer, use their cell phones, have group discussions, things like that.
I like this wall here. This was a solid wall prior to the renovation. This is all open now?
This is brand new. This allows the staff and our workflow to be able to look up into the teen room, see what's going on, make sure everybody's happy, healthy, and safe up here.
Makes the library look a lot bigger as well, too.
It does. It sure does. It really opens up the space. So here we are in the teen room. When we started planning this space in 2013, we had applied for an LSTA grant. So it allowed us to have a little bit more fun with this space than just using the renovation funds. We have a waterfall over here. It's a calming waterfall. And we also have, which you can't see here, but we do have robots that the teens can check out that
Wow.
they can use an app to make it move. We also have virtual reality glasses that the teens can check out as well and use in the space. So it's very popular. You'll see right at 2:45 that the room fills up. We actually have this wall over here that can open, and we will fill up that second room as well.
And the entire collection is your teen collection geared specifically towards that particular age group.
Correct.
And you also have this additional room here in the back. This is a pretty
Yes.
cool looking space here. What's back here?
So this is called the Dungeon. The name of it was voted on by the teens. So every year, thank you. Every year we'll have the ability to change it out and let the new group of teens name the space. They have markers here so they can write as long as appropriate on the on the windows to express themselves. We have our Manga Collection up here, which is very very popular. Teens will come up and take out 25 of them at once, read them in a week, come back,
Wow.
grab the next 25 in the series. So, and we also have a video game space, which was provided to us by the LSTA grant that we were talking about before. This is our most popular program at the library that I started in 2012. It was every Tuesday after school. We had 75 kids coming every week, and we decided to make it a permanent program, ongoing. We like to call it a passive program.
So the modern library isn't just about rows of books. It's really about programming and activities. I know you've added a lot of programming for people of all ages, but especially many of our teens. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the additions that we made relative to programming space and some of the programs you'll be running up here?
Sure. So programming space has become very popular and important here at the library for not only our use, but for the use of other nonprofits in the area. So part of the renovation was to create a wall here. We actually have 2 sets of movable walls so that we can have programs and outside nonprofits can have programs all at the same time. Before we were limited to one big space. Some great programs that we have here are adult coloring, we have movie screenings, we have book clubs, we have cooking classes. We have pretty much anything that you can think of that we can get our hands on to kind of engage with the community and show them the
Great.
library.
Let's
So
check out the space.
take a look at some of these spaces here. So this room does second as a additional teen space after school from about 2:30 to 4:30. This is the Mary Wilkins Freeman room. So we named
Great.
this room after the famous author. This room's used for some smaller programs, game board clubs, things like that. So we're able to also open this space here. So we can open up this wall.
These are all retractable?
Yes, all retractable, very easy to use.
And you can also have group study. If you're working on a project of some kind, you can have a group of 6 or 8 teens studying together. Not just for
Absolutely.
programming, but for also educational purposes.
Absolutely, and we
Great.
also have town committees will meet here as well. It's a great space to collaborate. But we didn't want to limit our space, so we created another opening wall. This way we can make a big programming space or we can just use this small space. This is more of our story time space, but we have the big flat screen TV here, 72-inch. Allows us to have PowerPoints, more speaker programs, things like that. We're getting ready for our Festival of Trees setup.
Oh, that's exciting. You guys also host
Winterfest.
Winterfest here as well, too?
Yes, so Winterfest we'll have our Festival of Trees up here as we usually do. That is the schools, each school picks a tree to decorate. And this year we're having the anime club come from the high school as well, which we're
Right.
excited about. It's a creative bunch. They're some of our regular teens as well. So we're excited to include them.
This is fantastic new space for new programming. Let's take a walk down to the main floor and you can talk about some of the other major improvements that we've made throughout the entire library.
Sure. I do want to stop here quickly as we travel down. Our original Lula elevator, but we've made some upgrades to it. Now when you push the button and you call the elevator, the door will open automatically. So folks who have accessibility needs don't need to pull open the door anymore, which was difficult and not helping the purpose of the elevator itself.
You want to take the elevator? No.
The elevator also received a new controller, which is something that you can't see behind the scenes, but the elevator works a lot better now, more quickly. While we were renovating the libraries to make it more accessible to folks in Randolph. So these are our read posters here. So right before our opening, we had some members of the community take a picture with their favorite book to promote that Randolph reads.
This one looks just like you.
Yes, that indeed is me with my favorite book, Court of Thorns and Roses.
It's quite a difference from this perspective, looking down from the team room over the library itself. Quite a difference. Like I said, it makes it feel a lot bigger, a lot more open, a lot more welcoming.
We're getting a lot of comments from the public that the space is much brighter and more welcoming than it was before. We're really happy about that.
That's great.
And you remember Elizabeth Murphy, our teen technology and assistant director of the library?
You liking our new space?
I love it, Elizabeth. You guys have done a great job up here.
The teens love it too. We have tons of them in here every day. It's wonderful.
Yep. Elizabeth, what types of programs are you looking forward to doing this afternoon with the teens?
This afternoon we are having a video game club and we are planning for our teen movie film tomorrow.
Awesome. Fantastic. Great work. We also have here a charging station for the cell phones.
Nice.
And all the devices coming through.
Anytime you do a project of this magnitude, when you retrofit an older building into a newer building, I know that accessibility issues are very important. I know that you spent a lot of time with the architects on the project dealing with some of those accessibility issues. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the improvements that you've made?
Sure. So here we have a lift for wheelchairs or anybody who might need some help. When the building was built in 1966, all we had were stairs. So unfortunately, when folks came in to use the library and needed books upstairs, we had to run up the stairs and get it. So there was no browsing for anybody who had some accessible needs. So now we have this lift. Folks can come up the elevator, come down this way, get in the lift, and just go up that next couple feet up into the mezzanine area.
So I know we spent a lot of money on the main elevator, also
Yes.
the additional mezzanine lift as well. The bathrooms are all handicap accessible now. Added
Correct.
some more bathrooms on the second floor.
Yes.
That's great.
We also opened up the mezzanine a little bit so that a wheelchair could get through before the walkway was too small. It needed to be 3 feet and it was not, so we opened that up
Improved
as well.
that as well. That's great. Great public policy. Now the main floor looks renovated and much brighter as well too. Can you talk about the changes that you made out in this area as well?
Sure, so we have all new furniture. We made sure that our furniture would be on wheels so that when we have an event like Winterfest, we can push everything out of the way and have one big, large space. Our end caps to our book panels, bookshelves, are the panels of the Randolph, an old map of Randolph.
That's really
we tinted
cool.
it blue and we stuck some vinyl to the sides. It was a nice option to really make the Turner Free Library feel homey.
That's a great touch.
Thanks.
Now, a lot of the improvements that you've made really aren't visible as you walk in. I know a lot of infrastructure was replaced, a pretty expensive ordeal. Could you talk a little bit about some of the other changes that maybe that we can't see as we do the tour?
Sure. So most of the money, as you know, was spent on our new HVAC system. The library was cold in the winter and it was warm in the summer before. Now we have a whole brand new system. It's very exciting for all of us, and you can't really see it, but it allows us to, again, make a more welcoming space to have the correct temperature. We also redid all the electrical here at the library. You'll see down on the floor, we have electrical plugs so people can plug in their devices. Again, all behind the scenes, not something that you would see, but the most expensive.
One of the other visible improvements that you've made is technology too. I know as a 21st century municipal library, investing in technology was a top priority for you. Can you tell us a little bit about the technology opportunities here at the Turner Free Library?
Sure. So we have all brand new computers. They run on Windows 10, which is the newest Windows. We also have new self-checkout stations. So just like when you would go to the supermarket to purchase your groceries, you can come here and check out your library books yourself as well.
Let's take a walk over towards the technology area.
Sure.
This has always been my favorite part of the library, between the lounge, the technology, and obviously the fish tank, if you will, the fish pond, I guess is probably a more appropriate term.
Yes, yes.
So tell me a little bit about this. I know this is one of the really unique features. Not every library you go into has a fish pond.
Yes. So this was built with the building in 1966 with a donation from the Anderson family, who were in the fire department. We could not renovate a building and get rid of it. It's probably the most popular thing in the building. Kids come just to come see the fish and to feed the fish. We've actually added some fish downstairs, which we'll see later, because these fish are such a hit. We also refinished all the floors here, and which really complemented the pond a lot more too. It's really brightened up the pond. And all of our fish survived the move, which is very exciting.
That's good news.
Yes.
That's good news. So talk to me about how many computers that you have and what you offer for assistance or any instruction or classes or things of that nature.
So we had 12 computers down here before the renovation. We now have 16, and that's just on the main level. We have another 3 upstairs for the teenagers and 2 downstairs for the children. We have a ton of technology classes. We offer them weekly. We also have a new feature called Book a Librarian. So if you go on our website, you can select a time and for a 30-minute appointment to go over whatever technology need you might have.
So talk to me a little bit about your hours of operation. So if I'm watching this program and I want to come to the library, what are your hours? What days are you open?
Sure. We're open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 9, so 9 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and then Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5.
Any hope of adding Sunday hours in the future?
We hope so.
That's great. Why don't we check out the children's room? That's always the most exciting part of the library. Now, one of the more vibrant locations in any library is the children's collection, and I see that you have your own space down here in the children's section. Could you talk to me a little bit about some of the improvements that you've made down here?
Sure. So this space was done in 1993. So a majority of funds did not go to this space, but we did add a lot of exciting features. One of them being an additional iPad Crayon kiosk. We had one before, now we have 2. Very, very popular. As we all know, kids are very into tapping and playing with the educational apps that we have here. We actually phased out 2 of the computers that were in the children's room before because the young kids aren't using computers, they're using the iPads. That's what they're used to. Mm-hmm. So we scaled down on the main computers and scaled up on the iPads.
So talk to me a little bit about that, because the notion that libraries of books, you offer so much more than that. Could you talk a little bit about the array of offerings that you provide to the public? What can I actually take out of the library if I have a Turner-Free library card?
Sure. So the library is not just a place for books. It's a place for anything that's trendy that folks want to get their hands on. So one of the most unique things that we have here are hotspots. So we lend the internet to people. You can come in, you can check out a small hotspot, bring it home for a week. You can do all your job applications there. You can do all your classes there. So you have the choice to not use the library internet or use it in a different way, which is outside of the building. We also have things like video games. We lend out tablets. We lend out Kindles so that people can use our ebook collection or our streaming movie collection that we have online. We have tried as much as possible to branch out to all the needs of the community, and that has led us to some really interesting things. We're actually lending out chairs for the holiday season. We put a barcode on some of our chairs that we have, and so people can fold them up and bring them home. As we all know, when we're having gatherings, everybody needs more chairs.
Sure.
So we're always trying to think of ways of how we can help people out. David, one of our new systems is self-checkout that I had mentioned earlier. We have 2 units upstairs, and we have this unit here downstairs in the children's room. It's very, very popular. The kids like to come check out their new book. And it works very easily. Just touch here on English, or you can hit world languages over on the side. Put your book down right on this pad, or a group of books if you have more than one with you. And this can be books, DVDs, video games, anything in our collection. You go ahead and scan your card. And you can do a few things here. Most of the time we're checking out, but it also gives the library an opportunity to send out another survey in the future. And as you can see, the book has checked itself out just from being on this pad. And you have the option to print a receipt or not. And we have these brand new printers so that we're not stamping cards anymore, and everybody has their own with their list of items and when they're due. And off you go.
This is great. I bet the kids love it too.
They sure do.
So the library mission itself has changed dramatically in the last 10, 15 years.
Absolutely. It's just to provide a diverse collection for our diverse community. And when I say diverse, not just, you know, diversity in our books, but a diversity of items that we have here.
So what would you tell the public about why they should come to the Turner Free Library on a regular basis, sign up for a Turner Free Library card?
So the first thing is that it's free. So as long as you follow the borrowing rules, it's free. So you have the world at your fingertips here at the library. You can check out things that can open your horizons or your educational needs just with your free library card. There's no reason to not have a library card.
Well, that's great. This has been a very informational tour, but I know, before I leave though, I know that this was kind of a group effort. You want to talk to me a little bit about your role with the trustees and your team from both the architect and project manager?
So I worked together with a project manager and the architect to come up with a plan that fit the needs of our user survey that we had given out. I also worked with the trustees to make a priority list after that. After our survey went out, we wanted to make sure that the needs of the community were being met, but could also fall in the same financial scope that we needed it to be in. So after that, we created a design. We went back to town council, showed them our design, and asked for the allocation of the funds. And that was in 2015, December of 2015. We received the funds very thankfully. We moved the library to a temporary location, as you know, on Memorial Parkway. My staff worked so hard to make sure that we created a similar welcoming space over at the temporary library. We were there for about 9 months. And then we had the ginormous project of moving ourselves back. We have 80,000 volumes that we needed to move and put back into place. So could not have done this project without them, for sure.
Well, I want to thank, I know you and your staff did a phenomenal job through this transition, not just through design and listening to the needs of the community, but also in implementing those needs from the standpoint of moving everything over to the temporary location to move everything back and being able to adjust in the library. And I really appreciate all the work that you did to make this possible, and I appreciate the tour that you gave us today as well, too. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, Megan. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, Megan, for that wonderful tour. It's very exciting to see yet another one of the many quality of life improvements here in the town of Randolph. We are certainly a community on the rise. I want to thank the Randolph Town Council for their support of this project, as well as the Randolph Board of Trustees. I would encourage you, if you haven't been yet to the newly renovated Turner Free Library, to come down here anytime and check out the new facilities that we have here. My name is David Murphy, the town manager, and I'd like to thank RCTV for their continued commitment to the community, as well as you, the viewer, for watching today. Thank you.